I was staring at my banking app when my heart did that thing hearts aren't supposed to do, stopped for 3 seconds, then lurched forward like it was trying to catch up on lost time. Balance: $2,347. Yesterday it was $9,547. I refreshed the page 3 times. Like that would change anything. Nothing changed. Transaction from 10:42 a.m. Villa Paraiso Resort and Spa, Cancun. Minus $7,200. 00. My hands shook as I scrolled through the history. There was no warning. No confirmation code I'd entered. Nothing. Someone had just taken my money. And within seconds I knew exactly who. My phone buzzed. Dad, thanks for covering us. Knew we could count on you. See you Thursday at the gate. Followed by a beach emoji. I read that message 4 times. Each time it got more absurd. Thanks for covering us. Not. Can you cover us? Not. Sorry to ask? Just a statement. A thank you? A beach emoji. I sat down on the floor of my tiny studio apartment and laughed. Not because it was funny. But because if I didn't laugh, I'd scream. 3 years I'd been saving that money. Not for a vacation. Not for a new phone. For a move. For a fresh start. $7,200. Gone. In one transaction I didn't approve, for a vacation I didn't even ask to go on. I'm 31 years old. I work as a logistics coordinator for a medical equipment company. Make $52,000 a year. After rent, insurance, groceries, and that credit card I'm still paying off from when Dad borrowed it 5 years ago and never paid back, I'm left with about $800 a month if I'm lucky. I'd been saving $200 a month for 3 years. No vacations. No new clothes. No entertainment beyond a shared Netflix password. And Dad took it in 3 minutes. I looked at our family group chat. The last message was from him, sent 8 days ago. Dad, family meeting Sunday? Important. Everyone needs to be there. I showed up. Because I always show up. We sat in their living room. Dad stood by the fireplace like he was about to announce something monumental. Mom sat on the couch with a notepad. Kaylee and her husband Devin took the beanbag chair. My younger brother Ethan stood by the window with his phone. All right, Dad started. Your mother and I have been talking. We've decided we need a family vacation. A real one. Something special. Mom nodded. Cancun. 5 days, 4 nights. All inclusive. That sounds expensive, I said. Dad held up a hand. Here's the thing. This time it's different. We're not footing the bill like usual. Everyone pays their share. I blinked. What? You heard me. Everyone pays their share. Time to grow up, right? We're all adults here. Kaylee leaned forward. How much are we talking? $850 per person, Mom said. Plus flights. $850. With flights, around $1,200 total. $1,200 I didn't have. I don't know. I started. That's a lot of money for me right now. Dad exhaled through his nose. Always an excuse, Cam. Always something. It's not an excuse. It's a budget. You spend money on your apartment your life. Why can't you spend some on family? Kaylee jumped in. Hey, maybe we could help him out. No, Dad said sharply. No handouts this time. If Cam wants to come, he pays like everyone else. I clenched my jaw. Fine. Let me think about it. Don't think too long, Mom said. We need to book by end of week. I drove home that night feeling crushed. Not because I didn't want to go, but because I knew what this was. A test. And I was going to fail it, like always. For the next week, they didn't let up. Mom, Cameron, the resort is filling up. I need your answer. Kaylee, come on, it'll be fun. Ethan, if you don't go, Mom's gonna be upset. Even my Uncle Ray texted, don't make your old man look bad, kid. Wednesday evening, Dad called. Cam. We need your answer. I'm still thinking about it. What's there to think about? It's yes or no. Dad, it's a lot of money. I can't just pull $1,000 out of thin air. He laughed. That familiar sharp sound. You're always so dramatic. You have a job. You have a salary. Stop acting like you're on the edge. I'm not acting. I have bills. Everyone has bills, Cam. The difference is some people make it work, and some people make excuses. I closed my eyes. Counted to 5. I'll let you know tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day. After that we're booking without you. He hung up. I sat in my apartment staring at the ceiling. Calculator app open. If I went, I'd be left with about $1,000 in savings. 1 month of bad luck and I'd be at zero. But if I didn't go, they'd never let me forget it. It wasn't a choice. It was a trap. And the next morning, I did what I always did. I texted the group chat, "All right. I'm in." Mom sent 7 heart emojis. Kaylee replied, "YSSS?" Dad just gave a thumbs up. And I sat there looking at my balance, feeling my future get smaller. 2 hours later, Dad posted in the group chat. "Dad, alright, booking now. Everyone send passport info and payment details by 6 p.m. I didn't think much of it. Assumed he was collecting info for a group booking. I sent my passport details. Then hesitated on the payment part. Me, how much do I need to send and where? Dad, don't worry about it right now. I'll handle it. Just send your info. That was weird. But everything about this vacation was weird. I sent my debit card number, expiration, CEV. Everything he asked for. Then went to work feeling vaguely sick but telling myself it would be fine. I got home at 6:15 p.m. Dropped my keys on the counter. Reheated leftover Chinese. Sat on my couch and opened my phone to mindlessly scroll. That's when I saw the notification from my bank. Large transaction detected. Tap for details. And there I was, sitting on the floor, staring at $7,200 missing dollars. Staring at Dad's message, "Thanks for covering us." My brain tried to process it. Tried to make sense. Then another message came through. "Kaylee, Dad, are you sure this is right? You only charged me $850. Dad, yeah, that's correct. Cam covered some extras. Don't worry about it. Ethan, wait, how much did he pay? Dad, not your business. He's an adult. He chose to help out. Chose. I chose. My hands shook as I typed. Me, Dad, what did you do? You just pulled $7,200 from my account. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Dad, relax. You said you were in? I booked everything together for the group rate. You covered me, Mom, and your share. Extra amenities too. Don't be dramatic. Me, I didn't agree to cover you, Mom, and extra amenities. You said everyone pays their share. Dad, and you paid yours. Plus a little extra. Consider it payback for all the years we raised you. Time to give back, right? I stared at those words until they blurred. Time to give back. 31 years alive and I still owed them. Owed them for being born. For being fed. For them doing the bare minimum parents are supposed to do. My hands stopped shaking. They went still. Dead still. I opened my banking app. Found the customer service number. And dialed. Thank you for calling First National. This is Brenda. How can I help you today? Hi, Brenda. I need to dispute a transaction. Someone used my card without permission. Okay, sir, I can help you with that. Can I get your name and account number? I gave her the information. She verified it. Which transaction are we concerned about? Villa Paraiso Resort. $7,200. Made today at 10:42 a.m. I did not authorize this charge. I see. And do you still have possession of your card? Yes. And did you give anyone access to your card information? I paused. Technically I had. But not for this. Someone asked for my card details for a different purpose. They used it without my consent for this amount. I understand. I'm going to put a hold on that transaction right now and start a dispute process. This should freeze the payment within 24 hours. How long until it's completely cancelled? If the merchant hasn't processed it yet, it could be as fast as tomorrow. If they have, it might take up to 10 days for the full reversal. Do it. Cancel everything. You got it, Mr. Wright. You should see movement on your account by tomorrow morning. Thank you, Brenda. You're welcome. Have a good evening. I hung up. Sat there on my floor. And for the first time in years I smiled. Not a polite smile. Not a keep the peace smile. A real one. The kind that comes when you finally stop bending. My phone started buzzing within minutes. Mom calling. I declined. Dad calling. Declined. Kaylee texting. Cam, what's going on? Dad's freaking out. I turned my phone off. Microwaved my Chinese food. Ate it slowly. And went to bed early. Because tomorrow was going to be a very interesting day. I woke up to 47 missed calls. 18 from Dad. 12 from Mom. 9 from Kaylee. 6 from Ethan. 2 from Devin, who I'm pretty sure had never called me in his life. My phone had been on silent all night while I slept better than I had in months. I made coffee. The cheap kind that tastes like regret but has caffeine. Then I turned my phone back on. It exploded. Dad, sent at 11:47 p.m., call me now. Dad, 12:03 a.m., you're going to ruin this for everyone. Dad, 12:15 a.m., answer your phone. Mom, 12:08 a.m., the resort called. There's a problem with payment. Can you fix this? Mom, 12:23 a.m., Cameron Michael Wright, you need to respond. Full government name. That's when you know a parent has gone nuclear. Kaylee, 12:19 a.m., Kim, seriously, what's going on? Ethan, 12:02 a.m., yo, mom's crying. Even Uncle Ray, your dad, called me. Said you're backing out? That's pretty selfish, kid. I set my phone down. Took another sip of coffee. Selfish. That word kept showing up. Like I was the villain for not wanting someone to steal $7,000. I opened the group chat. Dad, Cameron canceled the resort payment. Everything's on hold now. Kaylee, he didn't tell anyone he was going to do this. Dad, because he's being petty and dramatic like always. Ethan, maybe he had a reason? Dad, the reason is he doesn't care about family. I'd spent 31 years caring about family. Showing up to every dinner, every birthday, every event where I was background noise. I'd loaned Dad money he never paid back. Covered Kaylee's rent. Helped Ethan move 4 times in 2 years. But sure, I didn't care about family. I typed a response. Me, I disputed a fraudulent charge on my account. That's all. Dad, fraudulent? I'm your father. Me, and you took $7,200 without permission. That's called theft. Kaylee, Cam, he was just trying to help organize everything. Me, by charging me for his vacation? Mom, we were going to pay you back. That was new information. Also, definitely a lie. Me, when? You never paid back the $3,000 from 2019. Silence. Because they knew it was true. Dad had borrowed $3,000 for his truck transmission. Said he'd pay me back when his tax return came in. His tax return came. The money never did. When I brought it up later, he said I was nickel and diming family. Dad, this is completely different. Me, you're right. This time it's $7,200. The chat went quiet. I finished my coffee. Got dressed. Headed to work. My phone rang. Dad. Voicemail. Mom. Voicemail. Kaylee. Voicemail. I drove with the radio on, windows down. Work was beautifully normal. I coordinated shipments. Answered emails. Ate a vending machine sandwich. Around 11, my coworker Jennifer stopped by. You okay? You seem different. Different how? Like calm. Usually you're stressed. I canceled the family vacation. Her eyebrows went up. Are you mad? No. I'm actually relieved. She nodded. Then you made the right call. At lunch, I listened to one voicemail. Dad's? His voice was tight, controlled. Fury wearing a mask. Cameron. I don't know what you think you're doing, but you need to fix this. Today. The resort is threatening to cancel everything. Your mother is upset. Your sister is disappointed. You're being selfish and childish. Call me back immediately. I deleted it. Then I opened my banking app. The transaction was frozen. Pending reversal. 2 to 4 business days. I opened a new browser tab and searched for flights. Not to Cancun. Somewhere else. Portland to Phoenix. Phoenix clicked. Desert. Dry heat. Completely different from Oregon's gray drizzle. Cheap flights. Cheaper hotels. I could do Phoenix for under $800. 4 days. I didn't book it yet. But I saved the itinerary. Just knowing I could felt like power. My phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Is this Cameron Wright? A woman's voice. Professional. Yes? This is Lisa from Villa Paraiso Resort. I'm calling regarding booking confirmation number VPR 447821. We've received notice of a payment dispute. My stomach dropped. Okay. Our records show a group booking for 6 guests under the name Richard Wright. The initial payment was flagged. We're required to verify the charge with the cardholder directly. That's you, correct? Yes. And did you authorize this payment? This was it. The moment where I could cave. Say it was a misunderstanding. Let Dad have his vacation. Or I could tell the truth. No, I said. I didn't authorize that charge. I see. In that case, we'll process the cancellation. The full amount will be returned within 3 to 5 business days. What happens to the booking? It's cancelled. If your party wants to rebook, they'll need to provide alternative payment. Got it. Thank you. You're welcome, Mr. Wright. Have a good day. I hung up. Sat at my desk staring at my screen. It was done. Really done. No refunds for Dad. No trip for anyone. My phone started ringing immediately. Dad? This time I answered. Cameron, what the hell did you just do? I confirmed to the resort that I didn't authorize the charge. You did what? I told them the truth. That you used my card without permission. I'm your father. You gave me your card information. For my portion of the trip. Not $7,000 for yours. This is unbelievable. You just ruined everything. For everyone. Your mother. Your sister. Ethan. You ruined it when you stole my money. I didn't steal anything. His voice was so loud I had to pull the phone away. You took money without asking. That's theft. We're family. Family helps each other. Then why didn't you help me by asking first? Silence. You never ask, Dad. You just take. And then you make me feel guilty for having boundaries. Boundaries? You sound like one of those therapy people. Maybe I should see one. Might help me figure out why I let you do this for 31 years. You want to know why? Because you're weak. You've always been weak. You can't stand up for yourself, so you do this passive-aggressive nonsense instead. Something in me cracked. Not broke. Cracked. I just stood up for myself, Dad. That's what this is. And you can't handle it because for the first time in my life, I said no. You're going to regret this. Maybe. But at least I'll regret it with $7,000 in my bank account. I hung up. My hands were shaking. But I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Free. The rest of the day was chaos I didn't participate in. The family group chat exploded. I muted it. Kaylee called 6 more times. Voicemail. Mom texted, "We need to talk about this like adults." I didn't respond. At 5 p.m. I drove home. Ordered pizza. Scrolled through Phoenix hotel reviews. Found a place near downtown. 3 stars. Clean. Pool. Breakfast included. Booked it. Then booked the flight. Thursday to Monday. 4 days. Solo trip. Total cost, $743 including rental car. I stared at the confirmation. My first real vacation in 3 years. Paid for by me. Planned by me. For me. No family. No obligations. No guilt. Just me. And the desert. I went through my contacts one by one. Dad. Blocked. Mom. Blocked. Kaylee. Blocked. Ethan. Hesitated. He'd been the least aggressive. But he also hadn't defended me. Blocked. Uncle Ray. Blocked. My contact list got much shorter. And I didn't feel sad. That night I couldn't sleep. Not because of anxiety. Because of adrenaline. I kept thinking about Phoenix. About sitting by a pool with a book and nobody asking me for anything. Friday morning, the money was back. All $7,200. Plus a $15 credit from the bank. $9,562. I transferred $2,000 into savings. The rest stayed in checking. Available. Ready. My phone had 23 new notifications. I deleted them all without reading. Then I texted my boss, taking vacation next week. Thursday through Monday. Boss, approved. Have fun. I packed light. 1 backpack. 4 days of clothes. Toiletries. Charger. Headphones. Wednesday night I ordered an Uber to the airport at 5 a.m. Didn't tell anyone I was leaving. Just went. Thursday morning I was at the gate, boarding pass in hand, watching the sun come up through the terminal windows. My phone buzzed one last time. Mom, please don't do this to us. I turned it off completely. And boarded the plane. Destination, Phoenix. Purpose, absolutely nothing except existing without them. Phoenix hit me like opening an oven. I stepped out of the airport into 103-degree heat that felt like walking into a wall made of hair dryers. My Oregon rain jacket was suddenly the stupidest thing I'd ever packed. But it was different. Completely, wonderfully different. No gray skies. No drizzle. No passive-aggressive family members. Just sun. Heat. And a rental car with working AC. My hotel was exactly what I'd booked. 3 stars. Clean. A pool that looked slightly too blue to be natural. The guy at the front desk handed me a key card. You here for business? Vacation. He looked genuinely surprised. Cool. Enjoy the heat, I guess. Room 304 was small. Beige. Had that universal hotel smell of clean but never quite clean. It was perfect. I dropped my bag. Sat on the bed. Pulled out my phone. Still off. Part of me wanted to check. See how many messages had piled up. See if anyone had said anything that would make me feel guilty enough to respond. But I knew exactly what I'd find. More anger. More manipulation. More demands that I fix what I'd ruined. I left it off. Took a shower. Changed into shorts. Grabbed my sunglasses and headed to the pool. It was empty except for one older couple reading books and a kid doing cannonballs while his mom scrolled through her phone. I picked a lounge chair in the sun. Laid down. Closed my eyes. And for the first time in months, maybe years, I felt my shoulders relax. No one needed anything from me. No one was texting asking for favors. No one was mad at me for having boundaries. I was just a guy at a pool in Phoenix on a Thursday afternoon. Anonymous. Free. Invisible in the best way. I must have dozed off because when I opened my eyes, the sun had moved and my skin felt warm. I went back to my room. Ordered pizza from a local place. Ate it watching a documentary about octopuses. My phone sat on the nightstand. Still off. Still silent. And I realized I wasn't anxious about it. I was relieved. That night I slept without setting an alarm. Woke up at 7:15. Went downstairs for the free breakfast. Continental. Nothing fancy. Bagels, cereal, watery orange juice, coffee that tasted like it had been brewed in a machine that hadn't been cleaned since 2008. But it was free. And I was alone. And no one was asking me for anything. I took my coffee outside and sat by the pool. That's when the memories started. The kind that creep up when you're finally still enough to notice them. I was 16 when Dad first asked to borrow money. Just $60 to cover gas until payday. He'd had a rough week. Could I help out? I had $87 saved from mowing lawns that summer. Money I'd been saving for a used Xbox. I gave him $60. He said he'd pay me back Friday. Friday came and went. When I asked about it 2 weeks later, he looked at me like I'd insulted him. You're really going to nickel and dime your own father? After everything we do for you? I was 16. I didn't know that was manipulation. I just knew I felt bad for asking. So I stopped asking. And he kept borrowing. By the time I was 18, he owed me close to $900. I never saw a cent. Then there was Kaylee. She was 23, fresh out of college, barely making rent. Called me crying because she was 2 months behind and about to get evicted. Could I help? Just this once? She'd pay me back as soon as she got her tax return. I sent her $1,200. Everything I had saved that wasn't earmarked for tuition. Her tax return came. She bought a new laptop and went to Coachella. When I asked about the money, she said she'd forgotten. 3 years later, still nothing. Then there was Ethan. 26 years old, worked part-time at a vape shop. Got evicted. Again. 3rd time in 2 years. Could he crash at my place? Just for a few weeks? Those few weeks turned into 4 months. He didn't pay rent. Didn't buy groceries. Left dishes everywhere. When I finally told him he needed to leave, he called me selfish. Said I clearly didn't understand what family meant. He moved back in with Mom and Dad. Told everyone I'd kicked him out for no reason. They believed him. I sat by the pool in Phoenix, drinking bad coffee, remembering all of it. Every time I'd said yes when I wanted to say no. Every time I'd swallowed my boundaries to keep the peace. Every time I'd let them treat me like an ATM instead of a person. And I realized something that should have been obvious years ago. They didn't love me. Not really. They loved what I could do for them. But the actual me? The person who had feelings and needs and limits? They didn't care about that guy. That guy was inconvenient. I finished my coffee. Went back to my room. Sat on the bed staring at my phone. Still off. I could turn it on. See what I'd missed. Maybe someone had apologized. But I knew better. They weren't sorry. They were angry. Angry that I'd stopped playing my role. That I'd enforced a boundary. I left the phone off. Friday, I spent the day driving around Phoenix. Saw the desert botanical garden. Walked through trails covered in cacti. Took photos on my camera, not my phone, because my phone was still off and I liked it that way. Had lunch at a Mexican place with a line out the door. Fish tacos that were better than anything I'd had in Portland. That night I ate dinner at the hotel diner. Ordered a burger and sat at the counter. An older woman sat next to me. Maybe 60. You here alone? She asked. Yeah. Business or pleasure? Pleasure. Solo trip. She smiled. Good for you. Most people are too scared to travel alone. You travel alone? All the time. Husband died 6 years ago. Spent the first year waiting for someone to come with me. Then I realized I was wasting time waiting for permission I didn't need. She paid her check and left. I sat there thinking about that. Permission I didn't need. How much of my life had I spent waiting for permission? Permission to be upset. Permission to say no. Permission to prioritize myself. And who was I waiting to give it to me? People who'd proven they didn't care? I went back to my room. Pulled out my phone. Still off. And for the first time, I thought about what would happen when I turned it back on. What would I say? What would they say? Would anything actually change? I didn't have answers. But I knew one thing. I wasn't going to apologize. Saturday morning I turned my phone on, just for a minute. Just to see. It took 30 seconds to load all the notifications. 73 text messages. 21 missed calls. 14 voicemails. I didn't read any of them. Just looked at the numbers. 73 messages in 2 days. Not one of them was an apology. I scrolled through the preview texts without opening them. Dad, you're making a huge mistake. Mom, this is breaking my heart. Kaylee, everyone's talking about you. Ethan, Dad's really pissed. Uncle Ray, you need to make this right. My Aunt Linda, your father is very hurt. Family forgives. Even my grandmother, Very disappointed in you, Cameron. 73 messages. Not one asking if I was okay. Not one acknowledging that maybe Dad had done something wrong. Just anger. Disappointment. Demands that I fix it. I turned the phone back off. Took a long shower. Got dressed. Went back to the pool. I spent the rest of Saturday reading. Some thriller about a guy who faked his death to escape his family. Felt appropriate. That night I thought about Dad's last words on our call. You're weak. You've always been weak. For 31 years I believed that. Believed that standing up for myself meant I was difficult. That having boundaries made me cold. That saying no meant I didn't love my family. But sitting here in Phoenix, 73 unread messages on a phone I deliberately turned off, I realized something. Weakness isn't saying no. Weakness is saying yes when it destroys you. And I'd been weak for 31 years. But not anymore. Sunday was my last day. I checked out at noon. Drove around Phoenix one more time. Stopped at a coffee shop with local art on the walls. Thought about turning my phone on. Checking messages. Preparing for what came next. But I didn't. I just sat there drinking cold brew and watching people live their lives. A couple arguing quietly. A student studying. A mom working on her laptop while her toddler destroyed a muffin. Normal people. Living normal lives. With normal problems. And I realized I wanted that. Not the perfect Instagram version. Just the regular version where my biggest stress was work deadlines. Not whether my father would steal from me. Not whether my family would weaponize guilt every time I set a boundary. Just normal. I drove to the airport. Returned the car. Checked in for my flight. Sat at the gate watching planes take off. My phone was still in my bag. Still off. And I thought about what would happen when I turned it back on. When I landed in Portland. When I walked back into my apartment. When I eventually had to deal with them. Would I unblock them? Let them back in? Or would I keep them out? Rebuild my life without them? I didn't know yet. But I knew one thing. Whatever I decided, it would be my choice. Not because I felt obligated. Not because they demanded it. Not because family is family, and I was supposed to forgive everything. But because I wanted to. Or didn't. For the first time in my life, it was up to me. They called my flight. I boarded. Found my seat. Windows side. The plane took off. Phoenix got smaller below me. And I closed my eyes, thinking about what came next. Not with dread. But with something I hadn't felt in years. Possibility. The plane touched down in Portland at 8:47 p.m. Sunday night. The sky was gray. Drizzling. Exactly as I'd left it. I grabbed my backpack from overhead and filed out with everyone else. Through the terminal. Down to baggage claim even though I didn't have checked bags. Just needed to walk. To delay. Because I knew what was waiting for me when I turned my phone back on. I sat on a bench near the exit. Pulled out my phone. Stared at the black screen. 4 days. 4 days of silence. Of peace. Of being nobody to anyone. And now I had to go back to being Cameron. The son. The brother. The ATM. Or did I? I pressed the power button. The phone took 30 seconds to boot up. Then it started. Buzz. 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 147 notifications. 147. I didn't open them. Just stared at the number. Then I opened my settings. Went to my blocked contacts list. Dad. Mom. Kaylee. Ethan. Uncle Ray. My finger hovered over. Unblock all. That's what the old Cameron would do. Unblock them. Read the messages. Apologize for causing drama. Smooth everything over. Played the role. I closed settings. Opened a rideshare app instead. Ordered a car. Rode home in silence while the driver played pop music from 2015 and asked 0 questions. My apartment looked exactly as I'd left it. Small. Beige. Quiet. But it felt different. Or maybe I felt different. I unpacked my backpack. put my dirty clothes in the hamper, plugged my phone into charge, and left everyone blocked. The next morning I went to work. Jennifer asked how Phoenix was. Good. Really good. You look different. Different how? I don't know. Lighter? I thought about that. Yeah. I think I am. Tuesday afternoon, my boss called me into his office. Cameron, got a minute? I sat down, already running through worst-case scenarios. Budget cuts. Layoffs. Performance review. I wanted to talk to you about something, he said. We're opening a new logistics hub in Seattle. Need someone to run it. You interested? I blinked. Seattle? Yeah. It's a promotion. Operations manager. 68,000 base. Relocation assistance. You'd be running the whole show up there. 68,000. That was 16,000 more than I made now. When would this start? Ideally next month. I know it's fast. But you're the first person I thought of. You're reliable. You don't create drama. You just do the work. I sat there processing. A promotion. More money. A chance to leave Portland. To start over somewhere new. Somewhere my family couldn't just show up. I'm interested, I said. He smiled. Great. Let's talk details Friday. I walked back to my desk feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Hope. Real hope. Wednesday I got an email notification. Someone had Venmo requested me. I opened it. Kaylee Wright, $1,200. Note. For the vacation thing. We can work out a payment plan. I stared at it for a full minute. $1,200. Not the $7,200 Dad took. Not even close. But enough to make her look like the reasonable one. The one trying to fix things. I declined the request. Then I blocked her on Venmo too. Thursday night I was at the grocery store when I saw her. Mom. Aisle 7. Pasta and canned goods. She had a cart half full and was reading the back of a marinara jar like it held the secrets of the universe. I could have turned around. Gone to another aisle. Avoided her completely. But I was tired of hiding. I walked past her. Grabbed a box of spaghetti. Kept moving. Cameron? I stopped. Turned. She looked older. Tired. Or maybe I just never noticed before. Hi, Mom. I didn't know you were back. How was your trip? Good. That's good. That's really good. She set the jar in her cart. Can we talk? For just a minute? I glanced at my basket. At the exit. At her. Sure. We moved to the side of the aisle. She fidgeted with her cart handle. Your father is very upset. She started. Not an apology. An accusation wearing concern like a costume. I know. He didn't mean to overstep. He was just trying to organize everything. You know how he is. There it was. You know how he is. Mom, he stole $7,000 from my account. That's not what happened. He made a mistake with the booking. He thought you'd agreed to help out more. I didn't agree to anything except paying my share. $850. Not $7,000. She looked down. Money isn't more important than family, Cameron. You're right. Which is why he shouldn't have stolen mine. Don't use that word. He's your father. And theft is theft. She blinked hard like she was trying not to cry. Or trying to make me think she was trying not to cry. We raised you better than this. To turn your back on your family over money. And there it was. The guilt. The manipulation. The script I'd heard my entire life. But this time it felt hollow. Empty. Like watching a magic trick after someone showed you how it worked. Mom, I didn't turn my back. I set a boundary. There's a difference. A boundary? She said it like it was a word she'd never heard before. Yeah. A limit. A line you can't cross. Normal families have them. We are a normal family. I looked at her. Really looked at her. At the woman who'd watched Dad borrow and never repay. Who'd watched him take and never give back. who'd smoothed over every conflict by asking me to understand instead of asking him to change. No, I said quietly. We're not. Her face hardened. You've changed. Ever since you moved out. Ever since you got this job and this apartment, and started thinking you're better than us. I don't think I'm better than you. I just don't think I owe you everything anymore. After everything we've done for you. You raised me. That's what parents do. It's not a debt I have to spend my life repaying. She stared at me. Then grabbed her cart. Your father was right about you. You've become selfish. She walked away. Didn't look back. I stood there in aisle 7 holding a box of spaghetti, watching her go. And I felt nothing. No guilt. No anger. No desperate need to chase after her and fix it. Just nothing. I finished my shopping. Drove home. Made dinner. And slept better than I had in weeks. 3 months later, I was living in Seattle. A 1-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill. Twice the size of my Portland place. Hardwood floors. A balcony with a view of the city. A kitchen where I could cook actual meals. I'd made friends. Real ones. People who didn't need anything from me except showing up as myself. My new job was challenging but good. I was building something. Leading a team. Making decisions that mattered. And I hadn't spoken to my family since that grocery store conversation. They'd tried. For a while. Text messages from unknown numbers. Emails. Even a voicemail from Ethan asking if we could just talk like adults. I didn't respond to any of it. Eventually, they stopped trying. One Saturday afternoon, I was at a coffee shop near my apartment. Working on my laptop. Planning schedules for the next quarter. My phone buzzed. An email notification. From Dad. Subject line, I'm sorry. I stared at it for a long moment. Then deleted it without reading. Not because I was angry. Not because I wanted to punish him. But because I knew what it would say. The same thing it always said when they needed something from me and realized anger wasn't working anymore. I'm sorry, but you overreacted. I'm sorry, but you made things worse. I'm sorry, but you owe us another chance. An apology that wasn't really an apology. Just another manipulation wearing different clothes. I closed my email. Finished my coffee. And went home to my apartment. My space. My life. The one I'd built without them. The one I'd paid for myself. The one where boundaries weren't suggestions and no wasn't a negotiation. That night I stood on my balcony looking out at Seattle. The city lights. The Space Needle in the distance. The sound of traffic and people and life happening all around me. And I thought about that family vacation they'd wanted so badly. The one in Cancun they never got to take because I'd said no. They'd wanted me to fund their paradise. But I'd found mine instead. Different paradise. Different rules. Different people. And it cost exactly what I'd been willing to pay. Nothing more. Nothing less. I pulled out my phone one last time. Opened my blocked contacts list. Stared at the names. Then closed it and put my phone away. Some doors close. And stay closed. And that's okay. Because on the other side of those doors, there are windows. And through those windows? A whole life you didn't know you were allowed to have. I went inside. Made dinner. Put on music. And lived.